Today will be our last class on division of decimals. So today we are going to divide whole numbers by decimal. So let's see. All right, as you can see that this is a whole number 4 and this is decimal 0.5. So if you are dividing 4, which is a whole number, by a decimal which is 0.5, so what are we going to do? Is also the same steps that we used in previous classes we're going to apply, just that we're going to add few steps to it. So first of all, we have to write down our long division steps. So always remember to write down this. It's going to help us a lot. So if you have a problem like this, if you have to divide a whole number by decimal, first of all, the first thing you have to do is to convert both the dividend and the divisor into decimals. So here we have a whole number. So we ought to convert this whole number into a decimal because the divisor is a decimal already. So let's try and convert this whole number to a decimal. That's the first step we have to follow. So when we try to convert this whole number, uh, for this 4 here, into a decimal, so what are we going to do? We have to add decimal point to it, then add 0. Now bring down 0.5. 0.5. So as we can see, the both dividend and the divisor are now uh, in decimal form. Okay. Now, what next are we going to do? Remember what we did in last class, that we divided decimal by decimal. What are we going to do? We have to convert both decimal now, the dividend and the divisor, into whole numbers. And for us to do so, we have to move this decimal point to the right. Okay. Now, but we have to consider the number of digits on the side of the divisor. Okay, and then you have to move the decimal point to the number of digits after decimal point or the divisor side. Also, the same thing is applicable to the number of uh, times you're going to move the decimal point on the side of the dividend. So we have one digit here after the decimal point. So and also we have one digit here on the side of the dividend. So what are we going to do to convert it? Just move the decimal point to the right. So we have, oh, move this one, we have 40 here divided. Then we'll move this on this side, you have 0.5. So that, okay, so let us introduce now the long division symbol. Now write the divisor outside and the dividend inside. Remember, 5 is also the same thing as 0.5. Now, let's divide. We have to divide 40 by 5. Remember that when we multiply 5 into 8, we're going to have 40. Have 8 here. Alright. Then when we multiply 8 by 4, sorry, by 5, we're going to have 40 as well. So we are done with division, we are done with multiplication. When we subtract, we're also going to have 0. So we can see that 4 divided by 0.5 will give us 8. So this is the final answer. So let's take another question now. All right, this is our next question. 8 divided by 1.2. Remember, we are dividing whole numbers by decimal this time around now. So what are we going to do now? Remember, the first thing you have to do is to convert both the dividend and the divisor into decimal. So what are we going to do here? You bring this 8 here, add your decimal point, then add 0. Now it's now in decimal form. Then divide, write down this. So this is our question now. So but remember what we did last time, that when we have a question like this, when we are dividing decimal by decimal, I have to convert both the dividend and the divisor into whole numbers. And for us to do so, we have to move the decimal point here to the right on both sides. So we have 80 here divided by 12. So this is what we have now. So we are asked to divide 80 by 12. So what are we going to do? We introduce our long division symbol. Okay, so you bring your dividend inside and your divisor outside. At this point, we're going to divide the dividend by the divisor. That is, we're going to take these two digits at the same time. Okay, so but for us to do so easily, you have to use this trick. You have 12 here. Okay, so let's assume that we want to multiply this 12 by 6. Okay, this is in tens position, then this is in ones position. So we have to multiply this 10 by 6, that is, you have 60, plus then you have, when multiply 2 by 6, we have 12. When you add 0 plus 2, you have 2. You add 6 plus 1, you have 7. Okay, so you can see that the answer is less than 80 here, dividend. So we're going to go with it. So we have 6 here. Okay, we are done with division. Then let us multiply now. We'll multiply 12 by 6. We have what? 72. Then subtract, we subtract. So when we subtract 2 from 0, it will not be possible. So we're going to borrow 1 from this digit here and add it to this 0, it becomes 10. And when we subtract 2 from 10, we're going to have what? 8. When we subtract, remember this is 7 now, not 8. When we subtract 7 from 7, we have 0. So now we have 8 here, and we still have to divide it. But now 8 here is less than 12. So 8 cannot be divided by 12. So add the decimal point here and add 0 here. Then we bring down. So when we bring down 0 here, it becomes 80. If you like calculate this, it doesn't change the value. So when we divide 12 by 80, you're going to have what? 6. When you multiply 12 by 6, you're going to have 72. When you subtract, you're going to have 80. 8, sorry. Then we still have to repeat what we did now. We add 0 here and bring down. So when we divide 80 by 12, we still have 6. When we multiply 12 by 6, you're going to have 72. And then we subtract, we are still going to have the same result. That is to say, this is what recurring decimal. You keep getting the same word digits over and over and over and over again. So this is what recurring decimal. This is here continue to appear over and over and over. So this is what a recurring decimal, and this will be our final answer. So if you like, you might have something like this in your calculator: 66666. They are all what the same thing, because if you continue this process, you're going to have what? Going to have 66666. So this is the end of our class in division of decimals or operation with decimals. We've done division of decimals, multiplication of decimals, addition of decimals, and rest subtraction of decimals. So today will mark the end of it. We're done with the operation with decimals. In our next class, we're going to continue with fractions. Please don't miss it. See you next.